Hi guys, it's Simon with ToughTrader.com and Trade and Perform Coaching, doing the trade review for let's see, today's the 8th of September. Weird day, man, right? Like we had gold trend day down, we had euro trend day down, oil trend day down, NASDAQ trend day down, and the S&P 500, the ES, nothing, right? So I'm going to cover a couple of those. I want to go into, first of all, showing some of the additional value that we run in the room. But I want to show where the trade setups came from or didn't come from, right? And how sometimes avoiding a trade is the best way to lose money. But first of all, let's cover what made clients money out of the gate. Before we get started on that, real quick, important disclaimer and reminder. Basically, this says past performance is not indicative of future results. This is for educational purposes only. My goal is to share my trade plan to help make you a better trader. Period. End of sentence. Nothing else to say, right? So that's what we're working towards. Day trading's hard. My goal is to make it easier and give you high odds locations. So first of all, when we came in this morning, I did a little briefing for the members, and I want to pull that down so you can see where that occurred. That was all the way back in here. And I said, so first, right, I said, Euro's the only chart setting up as a potential trend day, needs an impulse move up or down to get things started, right? Now, I want you to look at what time that occurred at, right? That's at 4:10 a.m. That's California time, 6:10 a.m. Central, 7:10 Eastern, right? So the reason why that is important is if you look, I want to drag this up here real quick, right? Our goal is to find the trades that'll pay the most and let our clients set that up. This is euro, and this is where the arrow is. That's the break. This is 6:10 a.m. my time. That's where the heads up came that we were ready to have a trend day. This was the break, and this was the trend day down. So kind of hard to beat that. You'll see we closed not quite at the low, but not far off the low either. That is a very high odds trade setup that we discuss in the room regularly. It's a place where you can really have an opportunity to 10x your account, right? 10x your trading career, and really be able to extend when you know the market's ready to move directionally. You can really make an enormous amount of money. If you'll keep along with those tweets for a second, I want to go through here, and then you'll say gold also has a wow, what I meant to say was gold also has a chart. I don't normally cover it. Worth noting on both that buyers were all in overall control, right? So what I was trying to say, still early in the morning, was that both gold and euro were setting up for a down day at 6:10 a.m. You can also see the gold chart here. Again, I don't normally cover gold, but it had an exceptional setup this morning, and you can see that's 6:10 a.m. There's the trend day down, right? Not huge. Buyers are still in overall control, right? It's been trending up for a couple days, but that is just a total money trade right there, guys. You cannot beat that for a setup. And then I want to go through here, and because there's some other important information, right? So I go through all this explanations, and I'll say bulls want to hold above 24.60.62. Below 24.60, we enter a slippery area all the way down to 24.40.45, with 24.55 being the bottom of the 24-hour balance for the last 2 days. And then I go through here and I go, by the way, to sum that all up, it's not clear. Just to be better for longs if we hold above 60.62, right? But the important terms there was it's not clear. And I want to show why that's important. If we go back to the video here, okay, so remember there's two objectives here. The objectives are to find the high odds trades locations, right? High odds trade locations. And then the second thing is to, and I wanted to, let me double back one more time. Oil, the zones. Break below the yellow zone, right? Notice backside test of the yellow zone. Yellow and white are what we concentrate on, right? Look, we move from yellow all the way down to white. Red zones are also high odds zones. You'll notice it got sliced right through on the way back. Look at the beautiful backside test to continue down to the white zone. Perfect trend day down on CL as well. I didn't see that coming before the open, by the way, but that was a beautiful backside test. I don't know how I missed that, but I did miss it in the morning, although Greg and a couple other guys caught this downside move on CL and really made some nice money. So let's move over to, and so the room serves two purposes, right? Give you high odds trade locations where you expect responsive buyers and responsive sellers. The next goal is to make you a good trader. This falls in the category of making you a good trader. Okay, what makes one a good trader? Well, knowing when not to trade is one of the deals. And so what you'll see here is that there's no white zones. There's a white zone above, and there's all the one way down below, but there's no white zones on NQ or ES. And you'll say, well, Simon, you did say if we hold 60.62, we should be able to push, and 55 was general support, and that's true. But when we start off the day, let me push in, okay? So you can now look and see, hey, you know, this was trend day down, this was balance day, what's the big deal? Well, think about it if you're a day trader and you're relying on trying to make good decisions day in, day out. First of all, NQ and ES usually mirror each other in terms of their overall performance, maybe not tick for tick. So when we get started here, what you're going to see, there we go, I'm going to push forward to the open. So what you'll see me do, what I'm laying out here is I'm trying to show, let's go back here, I'm trying to show number one, that where the danger areas are, and you'll notice on NQ, there's no support below Thursday's low, right? And the first thing that we're trying to establish when the market opens is who's in control, whether we're above or below the opening print, and whether the markets are matched up. When the markets are not matched up, it's an immediate cue to stop. Now, I want to push forward here real quick. Now you'll notice we open right out of the gate, and notice a couple of differences. So this is Thursday's low on NQ all the way down here. This is Thursday's low on ES, right? So you'd think if ES is going to bounce, most traders, especially with the open drive higher, are thinking gap fill on ES. I don't play for the gap fill, and well, let me correct that. I play for the gap fill, but I don't consider it's automatic, and I have no support zone. 54.75 is the first place I can take a long here, and I have no support on NQ. This is important because I don't have to worry about getting run over on a trade early in, right? This is 10 minutes into the day, right? So notice, this is open drive lower, and these two bars are forming up, right? And there's some weird things going on here, right? So first of all, the tick's negative 528. We should push up pretty quickly off of a negative. It was a negative 800 tick open. We should push up right away. And importantly, NQ, if you'll go back to yesterday's price action, NQ led, ES followed, right? So weird today that NQ's leading to the downside, right? The total opposite from yesterday. Now look at this. Green up bar, 3 down red bars in a row. So this immediately tells me as a trader, right, I'm trying to figure out what the market's going to do. I know the market's not in sync right now. Why is that important? Because I can stop trading, right? I already know that Euro's probably in a trend day. I know that gold's probably in a trend day. CL turned into a trend day. And I don't have to go and chase ES one way or the other, because being able to say as a trader, look, I can't figure it out. I don't know which way it's going to go. NQ was leading yesterday. It's weaker today. ES was weaker. It's stronger today. Both are below their opening prints. The blue line's a little opening print. So bulls aren't in control, right? We've opened up and we've consolidated underneath the opening print for 15 minutes. It's okay to say in this situation, I'm not going to trade. Now, here's the other part, right? You could say, well, Simon, ES pushed all the way in, but I can tell you there are just as many traders that got smoked on NQ on the push down. Now watch this. We're going to push in a little bit further, right? Now look at this. These two markets are completely separated. I want nothing to do with this, okay? I have no support zone. I don't trade prior day's highs and prior day's lows, and you don't need anyone to help you with where prior day's high and prior day's low is. Just try. The reason why they're not effective areas, in my opinion, is because everyone has the information. If everyone has the information, how is it an edge? That's my question to you. If everyone has information, it is no longer an edge. But I tell you what is good information. See this whole blue area? This whole blue area indicates that it would be easy to trade through, right? And we, meaning the room, don't want to get caught in a trend day down through this area. This is opened up with a trend day down. ES is not participating. I have no problem saying, hey, I can't figure it out. So watch what happens. Boom, they try to get it back. This is Globex low. They're trying to get above Globex low. People are getting whipped and chopped. Now we had one long, and I'm going to show you where it showed up in here. Right, so Now look, these markets are going literally opposite directions. I want to replay that for you for just a second here from the open. Watch this. What the heck? Go back and look at all your days and tell me the last time you saw NQ go straight down and ES go straight up. Wow, that's just some, to me, I can't stop looking at it because I can't believe it, right? Normally what I would be doing is seeing ES leading and trying to grab NQ, but this is such odd behavior 30 minutes in, I don't want to do anything. So I'm going to push it over here real quick. Okay, see this break right here? Watch what happens next. Comes up, right? We pop up again. Look how far ES is pushed. I mean, I guess I'm overemphasizing the point, but this is amazing, and it was a warning sign. Now, I will tell you there was one entry long on NQ today. And you saw me drawing the line up. They were trying. See that push right here? Okay. This push down with ES leading was a beautiful entry because it gave you a tight stop. I thought that would mark the low and that we would play catch up to ES. The tick was improving, as you can see here over to the left, meaning the broader market on NYSE, and I thought we would catch up. That was an attempt to push down without a breakdown in ES, and I thought NQ would now push up. I know I got long here, and I know multiple members in the room got long for the push. We had to get above this 59.50 to 59.55. Now watch what happens. Push up, push up. Finally, look at that break. Gets behind there, gets above Globex high. Now I got to tell you right here, I do not expect the market to come back into this area at this point. ES is just at a high. And so here's what I found interesting. This was the high tick, and we couldn't get NQ to cover all this area. And I was concerned, and I said, if we get back underneath 59.50, the market's in trouble. And watch what it does next. Back below 59.50, that told you to get out of your room. If whatever you didn't scale here, which by the way, this is a nice trade, right? This is from basically, I believe 59.45 to 59.55, $200 a contract, right? And as soon as I see this, I immediately point out that that positive 600 tick will probably end up being the high of the day. Again, members are going to see this room. I'm going to post this, so none of this is made up afterwards, right? We do this in real time. If anyone wants to see what we do in real time, email me. You're welcome to come visit us in the room for 5 days. None of this is made up. This is the advantage of having 20 years experience. I knew when we pushed to a new high tick, this never should have gotten below 59.50, and I said NQ's in trouble at this point. So now watch how the rest of the day plays out. Look at this melting that's taking place, and ES is not participating. That's what's the most amazing. The fact that NQ is going down is not surprising, because remember over here to the left, this is all poorly auctioned, right? Wednesday low is the obvious target, but it's not a support level for me, right? And ES is still holding up. It still looks like you could try to make a break for Wednesday and Thursday's high over here, right? So watch how this plays out all the way through the day. Oh, I did a long webinar in here in between the afternoon. So now you see, here's the afternoon. Finally, right? Finally, after NQ is rolled down, this is minus 55 points. That's $1,100 a contract, and I believe ES is not able to penetrate below the low. And I pointed out also at the end of the day, there was a new low tick of the afternoon. Inability to break the swing low. We should push back up, and if you'll watch right into the close, that's exactly what we did, is push back to 2460. So there were areas you could make money. This was one of those key areas right here. This was another area, and then recognizing that when this closed below 59.50, that probably meant that this was the high for the day and that we were going to roll down. So that's how a pro puts together the day through the course of the day when there is no clear support resistance, right? Everything that the market traders were using was all prior day's high, prior day's low, Wednesday's low. These were all visual locations. It means that locals are in control. It was a bizarre day. You almost never get this price action where ES holds and NQ doesn't. Important going into Monday. So if you look at this chart, guys, okay, if you look at this chart, we balanced in this area for 1, 2, 3, 4 days, right? Put a box around it. This leads to big vertical movements, okay? And I'll give you an example. Balance for 5 days, big vertical movement. Balance for 3 days, big vertical movement. a lot of balance right here, right? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Big vertical movement. This is pretty interesting because it expanded energy, then it came all the way back to close back in, and eventually balanced more and got your vertical movement to the downside. So when I say there's vertical movement and we've consolidated sideways, there's no limit on the number of times, the amount of time it can do it. But once you start to get in the fourth day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can expect a big vertical move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, vertical move. 8, big vertical move, right? We closed back in. We were unable to get out of there. Again, you can see here, 3 days of balance, vertical move. This was a bizarre day right here. And you'll see when we broke off that base and had that big up day, you'll see that that came off of essentially 4 days of balance, meaning we traded within or almost within the range, gapped up, but then you can see we open drive, and then this gap is the kiss goodbye, right? Big gap, and it was gone. A ton of energy built here for a move back to the upside. So anyways, I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, keep coming back. My point is to educate traders to make them better traders. That's where my passion lies, is how do you become a good trader? How do you get a heads up on where the paydays are when you can capture the trend days, and the bread and butter days are the normal in and out trading through the course of the day. My name is Simon. I'm with Trade and Perform Coaching. I certainly hope this helped you out. Remember, number 1 rule is don't blow up. Rule number 2 is do not draw down significantly, right? Keep your losses small. If you can't figure it out, pause until you can. Your trading methodology should yield you a high win rate, meaning you get some losers and a lot of winners. If you cannot get that, do not trade. That would be my suggestion. Again, if you cannot get that, do not trade until you have figured it out. Your money's too precious. You've worked too hard, right? And your dreams are attainable in terms of your trading dreams if you will work towards it, if you will work off a written plan and take care of yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, right? And get crystal clear as to what you are looking to trade. Anyways, anniversary of 9/11 is coming up. We have the hurricane in Miami and Florida. Saying prayers for those guys over the weekend. And remember, anyone can learn how to trade, guys. You just got to have the heart to do it the right way. So anyways, if you want a quick peek at Monday's trade plan, it's sitting right there. You can see the white zones above and below. Those are the high odds locations. And you can see we have really no zones in between. Here's the upside target, 24.75, and then extended downside target, 24.30. And the rest of this is kind of a desert area, which means we're ready to move big one direction or another, guys. So I'm looking forward to next week. If you'd like to visit us, take a 5-day trial. It's tradeandperform@gmail.com. And yeah, it's a fun room, and we have a great team. So we'll talk to you later, guys. Have a great night.